Over 70? Rebuild muscle fast without setting foot in a gym. Have you ever noticed how tasks that used to feel simple, getting up from a chair, carrying groceries, even climbing the stairs, are starting to feel just a little heavier than before? It can creep up on you slowly. One day, you're out in the garden pulling weeds. The next, your knees are aching, your arms feel weak, and your balance doesn't seem quite the same. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. It's something many people experience as they move into their 60s, 70s, and beyond. And here's the thing most folks don't talk about enough. After 70, our muscles don't just get tired, they actually start to disappear. It's a natural part of aging called sarcopenia, and it can make everyday life feel harder than it needs to. But, and this is the part one really want you to hear, it doesn't have to be that way. You don't need a fancy gym membership. You don't need to lift heavy weights or start running marathons. In fact, some of the most powerful ways to rebuild your strength can happen right in your own home. And I'm not talking about hours of exhausting workouts either. Just a few simple, consistent changes in your daily routine can make a world of difference. In this video, we're going to talk about exactly how you can rebuild muscle, boost your energy, and feel stronger than you have in years without ever stepping foot in a gym. We'll walk through real, practical habits that you can start using today. No gimmicks, no pressure. Just honest, doable steps to help you feel better and move better. So let's start with the first step, and it might surprise you. It's not a stretch or a squat. It's something even simpler, but incredibly powerful, getting up more often. You see, one of the sneakiest things that leads to muscle loss is sitting too much. And I get it, when you're retired or just moving at a slower pace, the days can easily fill up with sitting. Watching TV, reading, scrolling through your phone, it all adds up. The body, especially at our age, starts to respond to what we do most often. And if we're mostly sitting, our muscles basically get the message that they're not needed anymore. They start to weaken, shrink, even disappear. But here's the good news. Just standing up more often during the day tells your muscles, hey, we still need you. Every time you push yourself up from a chair, you're engaging your legs, your core, even your arms if you're using them for support. Try this. Set a timer or remind yourself to stand up at least once every 30 minutes. Even if it's just a stretch or walk to the kitchen and back. Over time, these mini movements add up, and your body feels it. Now, if you're thinking, well, I already get up a few times a day, that's great. But we want to make it a habit. Something that happens throughout your entire day. Because the more your muscles are reminded to work, the more they'll stick around and support you. And speaking of reminders to move, let's talk about one of the most overlooked muscle builders you can do without any equipment at all: bodyweight resistance. This doesn't mean doing 100 push-ups. In fact, it can start with something as small as holding onto your kitchen counter and rising up on your toes. Think about that for a second. Just lifting your heels off the ground, holding for a few seconds. Feel your calves working? That's resistance training. You're using your own body to build strength. Another easy one: sit-to-stand exercises. That means sitting in a sturdy chair, then standing up without using your hands if you can, and slowly sitting back down. Try doing 5 of those in a row, nice and slow. You'll feel your thighs, your glutes, even your lower back engaging. And just like that, you're rebuilding muscle. These little movements are gentle, but effective. You're telling your muscles, hey, you've still got a job to do. And the more you do it consistently every day, the more those muscles will respond. You don't need a gym. You don't need a trainer yelling in your ear. What you need is to show up for yourself, just a little each day. Now here's something else to consider. Movement is only half the story. What you feed your muscles matters just as much, maybe even more. You've probably heard that older adults need more protein. And it's true. As we age, our bodies don't process protein as efficiently. That means we actually need to eat more high-quality protein to maintain and rebuild muscle. But before you worry about downing protein shakes or eating steak at every meal, let me ease your mind. You can get the protein your muscles crave from simple, wholesome foods you already enjoy. Eggs, chicken, beans, Greek yogurt, even a bowl of oatmeal topped with a spoonful of peanut butter. It's not about packing in huge amounts. It's about making sure that every meal gives your body a little bit of what it needs to stay strong. And if you're someone who's lost your appetite lately, or maybe you skip meals here and there, I really encourage you to take a fresh look at how often and what you're eating. Because when your body doesn't get enough fuel, your muscles are the first thing it starts to break down. And once they're gone, it takes a lot more work to bring them back. So today, maybe you start small. Add an extra boiled egg to your breakfast. Swap your afternoon snack for a cup of yogurt and some fruit. Little changes can go a long way when you're consistent. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? Consistency. You don't have to turn your whole life upside down to rebuild your strength. You just have to do a little more, a little better each day. Move a bit more. Eat a bit smarter. Remind your body that it's still needed, still powerful, still capable. Now that we've started with the basics, getting up more often, adding simple resistance movements, and fueling your body with the right foods, let's keep this momentum going. There are still more strategies I want to share with you, including some powerful techniques to improve balance, avoid injuries, and boost confidence in your body again. Let's keep this going. Now that you've started making a habit of getting up more often and adding those simple strength movements into your day, you're already sending your body the right signals. You're reminding it to stay active, strong, and steady. That's a big deal, especially after 70. But here's something a lot of people overlook: balance. And no, I'm not just talking about standing on one leg. I mean the kind of balance that keeps you from stumbling on the porch steps, the kind that helps you feel safe walking across a parking lot or getting in and out of the tub. As we get older, balance naturally starts to decline, and that's partly because our muscles, especially in the legs and core, aren't being challenged the way they used to be. But with just a few mindful movements, you can build it back up. Try this. Next time you're brushing your teeth or waiting for your coffee to brew, lift one foot slightly off the floor and hold it for a few seconds. Keep something sturdy nearby, like the counter, just in case. Don't worry if you wobble, that's part of the process. The more your body learns to steady itself, the stronger those supporting muscles become. And those small muscles around your ankles, knees, and hips, they play a huge role in preventing falls. Another great one is the heel-to-toe walk. You just walk in a straight line, placing one foot directly in front of the other, like you're on a balance beam. It feels easy at first, but you'll notice pretty quickly which muscles get involved. That's your body learning to stabilize itself again. What's beautiful about these movements is that you can do them anywhere, in the kitchen, while watching TV, even outside in the yard. You don't need special shoes or mats. You just need a little space and the willingness to try. And over time, these little moments of practice can completely change how steady and confident you feel when you move. Now, while we're talking about building strength and confidence, there's something else that deserves our attention: posture. You might not think of posture as a muscle-related issue, but it absolutely is. When your shoulders are rounded and your back starts to hunch, it's often because the muscles that keep you upright, your back, your core, your neck, are weakening. And when that happens, not only does it make you look older, it feels uncomfortable. It can lead to stiffness, pain, even breathing issues over time. But the good news is you can gently strengthen those posture muscles just by being a little more mindful during the day. Try this while sitting. Plant your feet flat on the ground, lengthen your spine, and gently pull your shoulders back and down. Imagine there's a string pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. It might feel strange at first, especially if you've gotten used to slouching, but that's your muscles waking up. That's your body remembering how it's meant to hold itself. You can practice this while reading, eating, or even just relaxing in a chair. And if you're up for it, try this simple move. Stand with your back against the wall, heels touching, and let your head, shoulders, and backside make contact with the wall. Then raise your arms slowly up and down the wall like you're making a snow angel. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it gently trains the upper back and shoulders to stay aligned and strong. That's what keeps you standing tall, walking proudly, and reducing strain on your spine. Now let's talk about something that might sound unrelated at first: breathing. You might be thinking, breathing? I do that all day. What does that have to do with muscles? But here's the thing. As we age, many of us start to breathe more shallowly without even realizing it. That means less oxygen gets to your muscles, and that makes it harder for them to repair and grow. Try placing your hand on your belly. Take a slow breath in through your nose and let your stomach rise as you fill your lungs deeply. Then exhale gently through your mouth. Do that a few times. Feels good, right? That deep breathing actually engages your diaphragm, your core, and improves circulation, which means more nutrients get delivered to your muscles. Plus, it's incredibly calming. So even when life gets stressful, your body stays in healing mode rather than panic mode. In fact, combining breath with gentle movement, like in Tai Chi or chair yoga, can be a wonderful way to regain strength and flexibility. These practices are gentle on your joints, they improve coordination, and they encourage better posture and muscle control. You don't have to do full routines or go to classes. Even just 5 minutes a day of flowing, mindful movement can have a huge impact over time. And here's something I want you to remember, especially if you've been feeling discouraged. Your body is always listening. Even the smallest steps you take each day are signals to your muscles that they still matter, that you're still using them, and that you're not ready to sit back and fade away. You're choosing to stay active, stay strong, and stay in charge of how you age. None of this has to be complicated. It's not about changing your entire lifestyle overnight. It's about stacking small wins, choosing to stand a little taller, breathe a little deeper, move a little more. So far, we've talked about getting up more often, using simple body weight resistance, fueling your muscles with protein-rich foods, practicing balance and posture, and breathing deeply to support muscle recovery. Each of these things on their own is powerful, but together, they begin to build a foundation that supports strength, stability, and vitality in your 70s and beyond. Let's keep building on that. There are still a few more daily habits and mindset shifts that can help you stay strong, independent, and energized. No gym required. You've come this far, and that already says a lot about you. You're not sitting back and letting age define what you can or can't do. You're taking the reins, making small, smart choices to stay strong and live fully. And really, that's what all of this is about. Not perfection. Not pushing yourself to exhaustion. Just waking up every day and deciding, today, I'm going to take care of my body. Now, there's one more element we haven't touched on yet, and it's just as important as movement, food, and posture rest. Not just any rest, but real quality sleep. You see, muscles don't rebuild while we're moving. They rebuild while we're sleeping. That's when your body repairs tissue, recharges your energy, and strengthens the work you've done throughout the day. But let's be honest, getting good sleep isn't always easy, especially as we get older. Maybe you wake up several times a night, or it takes a while to fall asleep in the first place. Maybe pain or stress gets in the way. But even here, you have more control than you think. Try setting up a calm, quiet routine at the end of the day. Turn off bright lights an hour before bed. Avoid heavy meals or caffeine late in the evening. Instead of watching TV right up until you doze off, switch to something slower, some calming music, light stretching, or even a few deep breaths while lying in bed. Those small changes help signal to your body, it's time to rest, time to heal. And healing is exactly what your muscles need. When you combine gentle daily movement with better sleep, your body starts to work in your favor again. You wake up with more energy, fewer aches, and a little more bounce in your step. Another thing that can really make a difference: staying connected. It's easy to underestimate how much our mindset affects our physical body, but the truth is, loneliness and isolation can slow us down more than we realize. When we feel disconnected, it's harder to stay motivated. We're less likely to move, to eat well, to feel energized. So if you haven't already, find a way to bring some connection back into your routine. That might mean calling a friend once a week, or going for a short walk with a neighbor. Even joining a local senior group or an online community can make a difference. And if you're someone who prefers quiet and solitude, that's okay too. But stay engaged with the world in whatever way feels good for you. Because when your heart and mind are in a good place, your body often follows. And speaking of your mind, don't underestimate the power of your thoughts. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, I'm too old for this, or it's too late for me to change. But let me tell you something important. Your body doesn't know how old you feel. It only responds to what you do. If you tell yourself you're still strong, still capable, still growing, and then back that up with just a little movement, a little intention, your muscles will respond. Slowly at first, maybe, but surely. Because your body is not broken, it's just waiting for a little attention, a little purpose, a little spark. And maybe that spark is you deciding to stand up from the chair without using your hands, or reaching for a piece of fruit instead of a cookie, or breathing a little deeper in the morning light. Those things might not seem like much in the moment, but stacked together day after day, they create real transformation. So as we bring all of this together, let's just pause and look at where we've come. You've learned that muscle loss after 70 isn't a life sentence. It's something you can push back against, gently but effectively. You don't need a gym. You don't need to lift heavy weights. You don't need to run laps or join boot camps. What you do need is this: daily movement, even small, simple strength routines using your own body, good food that fuels muscle repair, mindful breathing and better posture, deep, restful sleep, and the kind of mindset that says, I'm not done yet. You're still here, still breathing, still capable of becoming stronger than you were yesterday. Whether you're in your 70s, 80s, or beyond, your body is listening. Your effort still matters. So today, do one thing. One simple action. Walk a few more steps. Stand tall for one more breath. Choose a meal that feeds your strength. Whatever it is, just start. Because starting is the most powerful thing you can do. And I'd love to hear from you. What's your starting point? What small habit are you working on today? Share it in the comments. I read everyone, and your story might be the motivation someone else needs to hear. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really helps get the message out to others who might be struggling in silence. And don't forget to subscribe, because I've got more content coming to help you live stronger, feel better, and enjoy every stage of life to the fullest. Thanks for being here with me today. You've got this, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way. Here's to living your strongest life, no matter your age.